Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello traders, checking in on the broader market. So SPY getting a little bit toppy today, but we still have the pattern of a higher low every single day intact for 6 days. We closed weak, and if the bears show up tomorrow and break 256.22, the pattern of a higher low every day breaks. Daily consolidation is then underway, and support levels we will look at every previous low of day as a support level to keep an eye on. The hourly trend is now bearish. We had our low of the morning. High of the bounce was just an hourly lower high, and this is why looking at extended hours is important. If I turn off extended hours on SPY, we had a double top of 262.80 and 262.43, and we broke those levels and then instantly pulled back, not instantly, but over the next few hours, pulled back. Why didn't we get any follow through? We just broke resistance and hit the high of the bounce. Well, if you put on extended hours, you would have seen that we had 263.70 and 263.90 as a double top to be watching, and resistance, we didn't break. So we are in an hourly downtrend now, a little lower high and lower low, and the bears need to break the low of today tomorrow to follow through with that. I made a bearish entry today in SPY for a little bit larger, very similar to my position size for my long-term no-touch scale-in position that has an average at about 245. Why didn't I just sell my long-term SPY and re-enter it? Number one, tax implications would be a potential reason depending on what kind of account you're in. If I didn't want to pay short-term capital gains on the bull move at this point, and I wanted to pay long-term capital gains, not this year, maybe 5 years from now, that would be one reason. Another reason is psychological. If I'm going to be constantly trading my long-term no-touch position, I promise you I would put myself in a position where I don't have that position and something happens that causes the chart to run away from me, and next thing I know, I'm having to rebuy higher or having to not have a long-term position. So long-term, no-touch position is staying that way, and I am protecting against it because I like when my account looks like stair steps on the way up. I do not like my net worth dropping. I do not like giving back gains that I make in the market, and I like keeping those gains. So this prevents my account from going down. If I did not do this, today my account would be red, and instead it is slightly green. So that's the way I'm doing it. I am not suggesting that's the way everybody does it. That's the way I have chosen to do it, and I'm swinging that short position because of the close of weakness and the signs that daily consolidation is likely coming in the near-term future. So looking at IWM. IWM is looking at short-term support of 110.80, and we failed to break the high of 117.60. And if we break 110.80, we then see the bulls lose their momentum, and we'll be looking back down at the lows, 95.91 and 95.69. Again, we don't have clear daily trend changes on some of these names, SPY being the most obvious lack of a daily trend change, and that is the goal for the bulls to start April. Higher low, and then break the top of the bounce to continue this weekly bounce. Because the vast majority of individual names, we are looking for weekly lower highs to be set, and a name like SPY right now is more likely to drop to a lower low than a name like Amazon or Netflix that has bounced way more significantly, and they're much more likely to give us a weekly lower high, but then a weekly higher low. I would be much more confident saying a weekly higher low is coming on Amazon and Netflix than I would be on SPY. So bulls would love a daily trend change and more space. The more space, the better, so the bulls can potentially change the weekly trend back in their favor. If we do not have that space, weekly lower high and lower low is always a possibility. QQQ did see a clear daily bull break, but again, a little bit toppy, higher low every day, 6 days in a row. Bears need to break 189.20 support tomorrow for that pattern to break and for daily consolidation to be underway. XLF short-term support is 20.55. Daily consolidation clearly underway with the break of that level, and we'll then be looking at the dump low from there. What is the indication that our daily higher lows have been set? If we do set them, it will be an hourly trend change back in favor of the bulls. XLV Has not topped out yet. Higher low every day, 6 days in a row. Bears have to break 87.64 tomorrow for daily consolidation to be underway. And again, just looking at the size of this move, what are the odds that XLV forms a daily higher low with 16% of space to work with versus what are the odds that IWM forms a daily higher low with only, bad example, it's the same amount. But my example was hoping it would be less. And again, that's just my mindset. Probabilities. If a name has more percentage space to be working with to form a daily higher low, the probability that a daily higher low can form is higher. XBI, short-term support of 75.56. If that level breaks, clear daily consolidation underway. Last higher low was 66.08. Keeping in mind that XBI did see a more clear little daily trend change than a lot of other names did. SMH, little bit toppy, didn't break resistance. Short-term support 114.95 has to break for clear daily consolidation to be underway. So that's running through our sectors. Everybody has to break the low of today, tomorrow for bears to get follow through and to then shift our focus. Okay, bears have control of hourly trends. Bulls have to regain that hourly trend for a daily higher low. And we have to see a clear daily trend change for our weekly lower highs to not be set yet. And again, if I'm just comparing individual names, looking at a name like AAL on the weekly, what are the odds that this is a weekly bear flag versus one of those strong bounces like Amazon or Netflix? Completely different setup on the weekly time frame. Everybody bounced, and AAL bounced significantly percentage-wise, but considering the size of the dump, the retracement of the bounce, it is a much different picture. The VIX is looking for a daily higher low compared to 36.20. So low, high, scouting the higher low. And if we're going to set a weekly higher low, we will have to see the daily trend regained by the bulls. If we get one more red day tomorrow, I would be surprised. I'd be scouting volatility for a potential bullish entry tomorrow if we do see all of these names break their low of today. But forget what I was going to say if we saw another red day. The hourly downtrend is our guide. When the hourly trend changes, our daily higher low will be set compared to 36.20. TLT has topped out. It had a higher low every day for 8 days in a row. That has now broken. So clear daily consolidation, looking for a daily higher low and tons of space as anything above 139 will see that. Look at the 2-day time frame to condense it down a little bit. High, low, lower high. And we'll see how much pullback we get as we look for a higher low. Gold is finally seeing some bear follow through. I would love to see a gold long-term daily equilibrium play out with a tightening range all through the first half of April. I would love to see that because number one, we could be looking to make a bullish entry scaling in for a higher low compared to 1451. And I may look to do that depending on the setup tomorrow. Maybe I'll like an initial entry. 4-hour RSI. If we are in 4-hour oversold conditions tomorrow, I will make an initial scale in for GLD. And let's just say a game plan, rough example of a game plan there. First entry at 1570 on gold. Second entry at 1520. And I would reserve maybe a third entry at 1480. And if all of those orders fill, my stop then goes under 1451. If maybe 2 of those orders fill, and then we start the daily bounce and we get the tightening daily range, I will then adjust my stop. If it's a clear enough daily higher low and clear enough pivot, I would then move my stop up to that daily higher low to greatly reduce my risk. And then hope that the equilibrium breaks bullish. Another way to play it is just wait for the tightening range to resolve itself and play the break. So we'll see what tomorrow gives us, but that 4-hour is getting close to oversold. And next time we bounce, we're just going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high to form. Have to change the 4-hour trend for a daily higher low to form compared to 1451. Why is it not the hourly if we're looking for SPY to change the hourly trend for a daily higher low to form? Because SPY trades 6 hours in a daily candle and gold trades a lot more hours in a daily candle. Silver holding on better than gold, but also in daily consolidation, holding the low of yesterday. And we're looking for a daily higher low compared to 1164 and a tightening daily range. Bull miners closed at the low of the day. We are looking for a daily higher low compared to 1929 But don't forget, we're looking for a weekly lower high. Has our weekly lower high been set? Maybe, but we're not going to be confident until the daily uptrend has been lost. And again, I've gone over this multiple times where, in my opinion, if we're going to lose this daily uptrend, it's not going to be on this drop. It would be on a higher low, failure to break the high, and then a lower low, which is roughly a head and shoulders pattern, but a loss of the daily uptrend. We still have tons of space for a daily higher low to form, 20% almost. So I don't expect to just drop down and break that support from here. How can I make a play off that, knowing everything that I just said? Well, I could do a number of things. I could look for an entry on the lower high and put my stop above the high, which would be a top fish play. Or I could be more cautious and wait for the actual loss of the daily uptrend and then make a bearish entry. But keeping an eye for now for a higher low compared to 1929. Oil, weak. Solid bounce, giving it back. 4 hour would have to hold 1925 and break 2187 to change the 4 hour trend. So it was a great bounce. There were gains to be had. We are currently still 4% above the low, but with where we stand, we're 80 cents above support and we're $1.80 below resistance. We're closer to support than resistance. We're also watching this 12-hour time frame. A lot of people asking, what about long-term oil positions? What about long-term oil company positions? This is still a falling knife to me. If we have a 12-hour exponential resistance, which has rejected bounces for over a month, why would I want to make a bullish entry when that is still resistance? I don't need to nail the bottom. I just want to get in for a longer-term, broader, bigger picture momentum shift. And if we're not getting over this 12-hour, 12-period exponential resistance, there is no momentum shift. So that is my guide in the short term before I would consider any bullish swing positions. And I like the 4-hour time frame for clarity in the short term. I would expect a higher low to form tonight compared to 1925. Natural gas 12-hour equilibrium, low, high, higher low, lower high, support 156. If we break 156, bears resume full control. If we hold it, the equilibrium will tighten up into tomorrow or Thursday. That's where we stand overall. What would make me cover my SPY short at this point? The hourly trend changing back to the bulls. Hope you're well. Do good things. See you tomorrow.
Planted 36 raspberries this weekend all along this hill. And this is where all the blueberries are going to start leaving out. And I planted a couple fruit trees up there as well. Got a plum tree to plant, Santa Rosa plum. And a berry bush that I've never heard of. Yesberry Maxi Japanese Haskaps. And a vine to try and get it to climb up my light pole. Nelly Moser clematis.